Life gets loud, demands pile up, and too often women put themselves last. But the truth is, your daily habits quietly shape the life you're building. Mastering just a few small, repeatable actions can help you protect your energy, grow your confidence, and lead with strength. Today, we're breaking down 10 daily habits every woman must master: simple, powerful, and life-changing. The first hour of your day is like the blueprint for everything that follows. If you start with chaos, rushing, and reacting, that energy leaks into the rest of your day. But if you start with intention, calm, and clarity, you give yourself control, and control is powerful. Too often, the first thing people do is grab their phone. Notifications, messages, social media, it all starts flooding your brain before you've even taken a real breath. What you're doing in that moment is handing your peace over to someone else's agenda. Before the world comes at you, you need a pause, you need a reset. Start small, 60 seconds. Before your feet hit the floor, pause and breathe deeply. Remind yourself you're alive, you're capable, and you're in charge of this day. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can pray. You can journal one line of gratitude. You can simply sit in silence with your coffee. The key isn't the activity, it's the intention. When you create that quiet space first thing, you're training your brain to lead instead of follow. Think about it this way. Your phone, your emails, your to-do list, they're all going to demand from you. They want your time, your attention, your energy. If you give it away immediately, you start the day already behind. But if you ground yourself first, everything else has to adjust around you. That's strength. That's leadership. And it starts the moment you wake up. Gratitude is another piece most people skip. And yet, gratitude is one of the fastest ways to shift your state. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. A good cup of tea. A warm bed. The fact that you woke up at all. Gratitude rewires your brain to notice what's working instead of obsessing over what's not. That shift alone can change the way you move through the day. And let's talk about calm. Calm is underrated. Everyone thinks they need to hype themselves up in the morning with loud music or a packed schedule. But the truth is, calm focus gets more done than frantic energy. If you can start your morning with clarity, knowing what matters most, you'll walk into the day less reactive, less scattered, and more confident. Another thing, intention doesn't just happen. You have to decide it. That might mean writing your top 3 priorities for the day before you even leave your bedroom. It might mean speaking an affirmation out loud. I choose peace over pressure today. It might mean setting one small challenge for yourself. I will handle stress with patience. These aren't cheesy. They're anchors. And the right anchors stop you from drifting into everyone else's storm. Here's the truth. You don't control everything that happens in your day. People will test you. Problems will pop up. Plans will change. But if you own your morning mindset, you're not walking into that chaos empty. You've already decided how you want to show up. That's the difference between being dragged through your day and leading it. Mastering this habit doesn't take hours. It takes awareness, consistency, and a decision that you come first. Not your phone, not your inbox, not the noise. Just you. Your body is the foundation for everything you do. If your health is weak, your energy, your focus, your patience, even your confidence, they all take the hit. That's why prioritizing health isn't about looking a certain way, it's about living with strength. And the truth is, health isn't built in one giant change. It's built in small, daily decisions that add up over time: movement, hydration, and mindful eating. Those three are non-negotiables. Movement first. We live in a world that keeps us sitting at desks, in cars, on couches. But your body wasn't designed to be still all day. When you move, even just for 10 minutes, you wake your body up. Your blood flows, your muscles engage, your brain clears. You don't have to lift heavy weights or run marathons. Walk around the block. Stretch while your coffee brews. Do a quick workout video in your living room. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Think of movement like brushing your teeth. You don't wait until they're falling out to start caring for them. You do it every day because you know it matters. Same with your body. Move it daily so it stays alive, strong, and capable. Now, hydration. Most people walk around tired, cranky, and foggy and think they need more coffee. What they actually need is water. Your brain is 70% water. Your body depends on it for every single function. When you're dehydrated, you're slower, moodier, and less effective. A simple fix: start the day with a glass of water before anything else. Carry a bottle with you and sip throughout the day. It sounds too easy, but small changes like this compound into better energy, clearer skin, and sharper focus. You don't need expensive supplements before you get the basics right. Water is the original performance enhancer. And then mindful eating. Too many women punish themselves with food or ignore what their body is asking for. Food is not the enemy, it's fuel. And the way you fuel yourself affects how you show up. If you're skipping meals, living off sugar, or eating whatever's convenient, you're setting yourself up for energy crashes and irritability. Mindful eating doesn't mean restriction. It means paying attention. Asking yourself, is this going to give me energy or drain me? It means choosing balance, protein, fiber, healthy fats, not just grabbing junk because you're in a rush. And it also means enjoying your food without guilt. A strong woman doesn't shrink herself down. She fuels herself to stand tall. Here's the thing. You don't need a perfect diet plan. You don't need an expensive trainer. What you need are habits. Daily movement, daily hydration, daily nourishment. You don't wait until you're sick or exhausted to start caring. You do it now, so you don't pay the price later. Your health isn't selfish. When you're strong, you have more to give. When you're energized, you show up better in every role, at work, in your relationships, for yourself. Health is the foundation, and everything else is built on top of it. Boundaries are not walls that keep people out. They're doors that you control: when to open, when to close, and who gets to come in. Without them, you end up drained, resentful, and stretched so thin that you lose yourself. Too many women feel guilty about saying no, as if protecting their peace makes them selfish. But the truth is, boundaries are a form of self-respect. They say, I value my time, my energy, and my mental health enough to protect them. And if you don't respect your own limits, don't expect anyone else to. Saying no is hard because we're wired to please. We don't want to disappoint people. We don't want to come across as rude. We don't want to risk being seen as unhelpful. But every yes that doesn't feel right is actually a no to yourself. You're saying no to rest, no to priorities, no to your own peace. Boundaries require courage, but they also create freedom. When you say no to what doesn't serve you, you leave space for what actually does. It doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop sacrificing yourself in the process. A strong boundary might sound like, I can't take this on right now, or that doesn't work for me. Notice how you don't need an excuse, a long explanation, or an apology. Boundaries are not debates, they're decisions. The moment you over-explain, you give people an opening to push back. Stand firm, be clear, respect yourself enough to keep it simple. Protecting your peace also means being selective with who you give access to. Not everyone deserves front row seats to your life. Some people thrive on drama, negativity, or constant taking. And if you let them, they'll drain you. Boundaries look like limiting time with people who exhaust you. They look like unfollowing accounts that make you feel less. They look like pausing before responding instead of reacting out of pressure. Peace is not handed to you. It's protected by the choices you make daily. There's a saying, if you don't set boundaries, you'll keep breaking yourself to fix others. That's the trap. Women especially are taught to be available, agreeable, and accommodating. But strength is not in always saying yes. Strength is in knowing when no is the healthier choice. It takes maturity to recognize that your well-being matters just as much as anyone else's needs. Here's what happens when you start living with boundaries. People may not like it at first. They're used to your yes. They're used to your availability. But the ones who truly respect you will adjust. The ones who don't, well, that's information too. Boundaries reveal who values you and who values only what you give them. Protecting your peace daily isn't about building a fortress. It's about making sure you're not pouring from an empty cup. When you master boundaries, you don't just protect your time, you protect your energy, your focus, your joy. And that's not selfish. That's survival. That's strength. Growth isn't a season you step into once in a while. It's a daily decision. The moment you stop growing, you start settling. And settling slowly chips away at your potential. Every day you have a choice: repeat what you already know or stretch yourself into what you're capable of becoming. Continuous growth doesn't mean you have to reinvent yourself overnight. It means making learning, curiosity, and practice part of your routine. Small, consistent input compounds into massive change over time. Think of it like this: your mind is just like your body. If you don't challenge it, it weakens. But when you feed it, train it, and test it, it becomes stronger, sharper, and more resilient. Reading 10 pages of a book may not seem like much. Listening to a 20-minute podcast might feel insignificant. Practicing a skill for just 15 minutes could look too small to matter. But consistency is where the magic happens. Do it every day, and suddenly a year later, you're sharper, wiser, and equipped with tools that most people never bothered to pick up. The reason daily growth matters is because the world isn't standing still. Technology changes. Industries evolve. Opportunities shift. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. But when you choose to keep growing, you stay ready. You stay adaptable. You stop being stuck in old patterns and start becoming someone who can step into new ones with confidence. Growth keeps you relevant, not just in your career, but in your mindset, your relationships, and your self-respect. Another thing about growth, it builds confidence. When you learn something new, when you master a skill, When you realize you're better than you were last month, that pride is real. Confidence doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's earned by keeping promises to yourself, by saying, I will grow, and then proving it daily, no matter how small the step. Don't underestimate curiosity either. Growth doesn't always look like studying or courses. Sometimes it's asking better questions. Sometimes it's trying something new even if you're bad at it. Sometimes it's exposing yourself to different perspectives, cultures, or ways of thinking. Every time you challenge your own comfort zone, you expand who you are. And that's growth. The biggest barrier people face is waiting. Waiting for the right time, the right class, the perfect moment to start. But growth doesn't need permission. You can start today with what you have. Pick up a book that challenges you. Watch a TED Talk. Write a page. Practice a language for 5 minutes. Improvement isn't about the size of the step. It's about the direction you're moving in. Here's the truth. Growth never stops unless you let it. And the women who stand out, the ones who inspire, the ones who build powerful lives, they're not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who commit to showing up for growth every single day. You don't need to become perfect. You just need to be a little better than you were yesterday. That's what continuous growth is about. And when you master that habit, your future becomes limitless. Money is one of those topics people either obsess over or avoid completely. But here's the truth. Ignoring it doesn't make it less important. It makes it dangerous. Financial awareness is not about greed or materialism. It's about responsibility. It's about freedom. It's about knowing where your money is going so you can decide where your life is going. Too many women give their energy, their time, and their talents away, but never learn to manage the reward that comes back. And if you don't respect money, money won't stick around to respect you. The first step is simple awareness. Most people spend without even realizing where their money goes. A coffee here, a subscription there, impulse shopping when stress hits. It all adds up. By the end of the month, you're wondering why your bank account feels empty. Tracking your spending isn't about restriction, it's about clarity. When you see the numbers in black and white, you start to recognize patterns. And once you recognize patterns, you can make smarter choices. Then comes saving. Saving isn't about hoarding. It's about creating options. Life happens. Emergencies come. Opportunities show up. If you have no savings, you're trapped by every curveball life throws. But when you build the discipline of setting something aside, even if it's small, you're building a safety net that protects your peace. It's not the amount, it's the habit. $5 saved consistently matters more than big amounts saved randomly, because habits build stability. Respecting money also means respecting what it represents. Money is not evil, it's not dirty, it's a tool. And the way you use that tool reflects your values. Do you spend to impress people who don't even notice? Or do you spend to invest in yourself, your growth, your health, your future? The way you treat money shows the way you treat yourself. If you constantly sabotage your finances with impulse decisions, it usually mirrors other areas of your life where self-control is lacking. But if you treat money with discipline and care, it builds confidence and stability in everything else you do. Another piece of financial awareness is learning. Don't let money be a mystery. Read a book on personal finance. Listen to a podcast about investing. Ask questions. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the less intimidating money becomes. Too many women leave financial decisions to someone else, a partner, a family member, an advisor, and then find themselves powerless when life shifts. Independence starts with financial independence. Knowing how to manage, save, and grow your money is a form of strength no one can take away from you. Here's the truth: money doesn't solve every problem, but it does remove unnecessary stress. It gives you choices. It gives you breathing room. It allows you to walk away from toxic situations because you're not trapped by financial fear. Financial awareness is not about chasing millions, it's about mastering what you have. When you do that, you stop working for money and start making money work for you. That's when freedom begins. How you end your day is just as important as how you start it. Most people crawl into bed exhausted, still scrolling, their mind buzzing with unfinished tasks, regrets, or distractions. Then they wonder why they can't sleep or why they wake up already tired. Evening reflection is the habit that breaks that cycle. It's not about being perfect or forcing a rigid routine. It's about giving your mind closure so you can rest, reset, and prepare for tomorrow with clarity. Reflection starts with slowing down. Your brain has been in go mode all day, solving problems, responding to people, juggling responsibilities. If you don't hit pause, that same mental noise follows you into the night. Taking even 10 minutes to reflect creates a clear line between day and rest. It tells your mind, we're done here. It's time to let go. That shift matters more than most people realize. One of the most powerful tools for evening reflection is journaling. Not a novel, not a perfect essay, just a few lines. Write down one win from the day, no matter how small. Write one lesson you learned, even if it came from a mistake. And write one priority for tomorrow so you don't wake up already overwhelmed. This isn't about productivity, it's about perspective. A win builds confidence, a lesson builds wisdom, and a priority builds focus. That little ritual changes how you see yourself and your day. Unwinding is another piece that's often ignored. You can't go from full speed to deep rest instantly, just like a car doesn't slam from 80 miles per hour to zero without damage. You need transition. For some, that might be reading. For others, stretching, meditation, prayer, or even just sitting in silence with a cup of tea. Whatever it looks like, the point is to signal your body and mind that it's time to shift gears. Without that transition, you carry the chaos of the day straight into your sleep. Preparation for tomorrow is the final layer. It doesn't have to be a detailed plan, just clarity. Set out your clothes, prep your bag, jot down the top 3 things you'll tackle. That little preparation reduces morning stress and gives you a sense of control. Instead of waking up to disorder, you wake up to direction. And direction first thing in the morning is priceless. The truth is, reflection is about ownership. It's easy to rush through life on autopilot, one day blending into the next. But when you take time at night to pause, you reclaim the day. You notice your progress. You learn from your mistakes. You create space for gratitude instead of stress. You put your mind to rest instead of letting it spiral. And you give yourself the best chance to wake up ready, not resentful. Evening reflection doesn't take hours. It takes intention. 10 minutes to journal, 5 minutes to prepare, a few minutes to unwind. That's it. But Those small actions add up to better sleep, clearer mornings, and a stronger sense of control over your life. And your day with reflection, and you'll start your next one with power. At the end of the day, your life is built on what you do consistently, not occasionally. These habits aren't flashy or complicated. They're simple, repeatable choices that quietly transform who you are and how you live. When you reset your mindset in the morning, you take ownership of your day before the world does. When you prioritize health, you fuel your body to carry you through every challenge. When you set boundaries, you protect your peace and self-respect. When you commit to growth, you keep evolving instead of staying stuck. When you build financial awareness, you create freedom and stability for yourself. And when you close the day with reflection, you prepare your mind and heart for the future you're creating. None of these habits are about perfection. They're about direction. Small steps, repeated daily, compound into powerful change. Master these, and you're not just surviving life, you're leading it with strength, clarity, and confidence.